welcome back to my channel. My name is Gloria. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today I wanted to go through some of my Hoya growth and updates for you guys because some are doing well and some are not. So I just kind of wanted to go through that, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. But before we get started, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any of my new videos. And yeah, let's get started. I guess we'll start off with some happier news. So my Hoya australis, as you guys know, is finally starting to grow. I've been waiting for so long because I first started with just cuttings that were unrooted. So first I had to root them, and then once they were rooted and had an established root system, then it's gonna, put out some new leaves. Let me show you guys. Okay, so it's grown quite a bit. It came out super small, which all Hoya leaves generally do. And then the variegation is so pink. Just look at that. It's like a hot pink, and over time it will fade to a nice cream color like the other older leaves. And yeah, there's 2 new leaves. They haven't fallen off. And I see there's also some growth points at the bottom. So there's 3 separate plants in here actually, and the one on the side down here, there's actually a little tip that is starting to grow. It's really hard to see, but at least you can see these 2 new leaves, which are super good, and very happy with this. Hasn't really given me much trouble. No root rot, no extra humidity is needed, and I even see a random area root growing at normal humidity. I just have this sitting in my kitchen in front of my south facing window. It gets a little bit of direct sunshine, but not a lot, just because there's kind of this big building in front of my window, so I don't get that much light, but it's still a fairly bright window. Next up, I have my Hoya Manipurensis, which has grown quite a bit. The middle stem, it grew out I think 4 leaves or something like that, so it's so much taller than the other 2 pieces. So this piece, is not doing too bad. It's kind of getting there. But this one down here, you can't even see it. It's so small. It's literally 2, 3, it's a 4-leaf cutting, and it's pretty much at soil level versus this one is all the way up here. So that one has some catching up to do. I'm hoping that if it grows a little bit more, I might just chop it and propagate it and stick it back into the soil. I tend to really like doing that because I like my Manipurensis more bushy looking, as opposed to just really tall and just trellising up. I don't really like that look. I don't know, some people do, but for me, I want a really bushy looking plant. So I'll probably chop this once it grows another 2 to 4 leaves. But for now, I'm really happy. My Hoya Bella variegated is also doing pretty good. It's grown to the top of the trellis now, so it's gonna start overlapping and coming down the other side. So that's looking really good. This little piece over here is still fairly small. As you can see, it just is maybe half the size of the other ones, but still nonetheless, they're growing, and I think this is quite a fast grower. I haven't had any trouble with this one, even though it needs a little bit more water. I'm generally an underwaterer, but I don't know what's been happening lately. I think I'm just forgetting that I watered my plants, and then I'll water it again thinking it's dry when it hasn't dried yet. And yeah, I'll show you some examples of that in a bit, but this one is doing pretty well. I also wanted to show you my Hoya Callistophylla shortleaf. There's a little itty bitty leaf that's growing kind of in the middle there. I don't know, can you guys see? Yeah, right there. So super tiny leaf, and I noticed it maybe yesterday because it was hidden behind the other bigger leaves, and there's actually another one that's so small I can't even show you. It's literally a speck right now, but hopefully these leaves don't blast and just fall off, which has happened to my caudata. So this one is my Hoya caudata sumatra. It originally had a bunch of tendrils and leaves were growing out of it, but they kept just falling off. So I decided to actually cut off all the tendrils and just, have it grow new tendrils in my care. and hopefully they're stronger. And I keep this one now in my greenhouse because the leaves just kept falling off. I had 4 leaves fall off of this. Very, very sad. This one did not bring me joy because it just kept dying on me. I mean, overall the plant is still fairly healthy. It's just the leaves aren't growing, and all my other plants are growing except for that one in terms of my new Hoyas. This one is my Hoya Fungi Eye, which one of the leaves actually fell off, but the other leaf has grown really well. So the leaf back here is a new leaf. It's quite splashy, it's quite fuzzy, it's quite veiny, it has all of the above and more. I just love this plant, and I can't wait for more leaves to come out. I don't see any start of new leaves growing, but I mean, now at least I have 5 leaves. It's a 5-leaf plant, which, not complaining. My Hoya Tomsonii pink has actually grown, and I can see new leaves. So they're really small right now, but the new leaves come out super, super fuzzy. Pretty hairy actually. And there's new leaves on that stem. There's another one on this stem too. Which means that the plant has rooted, because I put a lot of unrooted cuttings into this pot just so I can make it kind of fuller as opposed to a really long trellised up Hoya. I wanted it to be a nice bushy one, kind of like my Parensis. So I was kind of going for that look, and I'm really happy that they have rooted and they're starting to shoot out new leaves. These aren't as fragile. I haven't had any of these fall off yet, but my caudata has been blasting a lot. And I think that's pretty much it for leaves falling off. Yeah, it was mainly just that one. But Tomsonii is doing well. It's rooted and it's nice and happy. My Hoya nummularioides pink corona has grown pretty nicely as well. I think all the new leaves have hardened off and grown big in size, so they kind of just look like all the older leaves, but it just looks like a bigger plant, so I'm pretty sure it grew. So it looks bigger now, doesn't it? Like, it's bushier. I'll probably have to go back to older videos just to see like how it used to look like, but I love how fuzzy this plant is and how low maintenance it is, and it's just looking really cute now that it's starting to really trellis and attach on to this makeshift DIY trellis. It's an easy Hoya, very beginner friendly, and love it. Doesn't need much. I think those are all the Hoyas that have been growing really well. Let me show you some Hoyas that are very sad, unfortunately. These are my Hoya Parasitica Splash. So I bought this from Crystal Star Nursery, I think maybe 1 or 2 restocks ago, and I rotted it. There's no other way to say it. I think I overwatered it, and it was in my north-facing window, so it wasn't getting a whole bunch of light, and it couldn't take up all the water, and the soil was just damp for too long, and therefore it rotted. So I noticed it and probably caught it just in time before it literally shriveled up and died. And I chopped it up into 3 separate pieces. So now they're in 3 separate pots in moss. Back to moss it goes. And now I think it's doing a little bit better. It's starting to root, and I just have to be patient with this. So once it's rooted, I will transfer it back to soil. Hopefully it doesn't die on me, but the leaves were getting very soft. That's how I could tell. Despite the soil being a little bit damp, the leaves were not uptaking the water. And that's usually the case with root rot. And when I took it out of the soil and checked the roots were really stringy. They were just like breaking and snapping left, right, and center. But, oh, this one's not looking too bad actually. Yeah, this one's pretty stiff still. This one's pretty floppy looking. Yeah, this one's still a little bit floppy. So yeah, I have 3 separate cuttings now. Hopefully they survive. And this pretty much happened exactly like how my Hoya lacunosa silver Eskimo, what happened with that. And unfortunately I don't have good news about that, because They just rotted. I have no other way to say it. So last time, I think during my greenhouse tour, I showed you guys I had literally, I think like 5 to 6 pots of Hoya lacunosa, silver Eskimo, and unfortunately only one survived. So they were trying to root in moss, and they were just getting really, really soft and shriveled, and over time it was just like, it just died, except for one. So because that one, I actually transferred it to water in time, and it grew water roots. So that's how I saved that one. It's now in soil, and it has grown really healthy roots, and I'm going to be very careful not to overwater this one. But yeah, my very big Hoya lacunosa has now turned into a very small plant. Very upset about it, but I mean, you know, these things happen. Let me show you guys. Okay, so this is how my Hoya lacunosa silver Eskimo looks now. I mean, it's still like, I don't know, 10 leaves or something like that, and it's not super awful. It's in a little 2.5-inch pot of soil. Clearly looking very wet, actually. I should really go easier on the water. But the leaves are not soft anymore. They're nice and stiff and healthy, and there were quite a lot of water roots, so I'm not too worried about it. And it's potted up. It's literally how it used to look like from the beginning, and hopefully it thrives and gives me some new leaves, because I don't see any at the moment. That was my very sad story of how my poor Parasitica splash is not doing well. My lacunosas have died, and I've only been able to save that small little cutting. And yeah, I think that pretty much concludes today's video. I don't have any more updates on my other plants. The ones that I did not show you today, they're probably just not growing, and there's nothing to show you guys because it looks exactly the same as how it used to look. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Comment down below which one was your favorite Hoya that you saw today. I would love to know. And give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.